Assalamualaikum and hi everyone! Today, I will be talking about capitalism and environment. So enjoy this video! Capitalism is defined as the economic system where the means of production is owned by the private individual sectors. When I say private individual sectors, it could be anything. It could be multinational corporations, any companies that are owned by private sectors. But it is not intervened by the government itself. All companies exist by profit motive. What they think is all about money. And all the companies will have owners and also the managers. What did the government do in this capitalism kind of concept? Government cannot intervene in their sales and in their business, but government can enforce law and regulate any laws to make sure that they are in a level playing field. Of course, the capitalism have its own advantages, such as there are free markets, so there are efficiency of the private sectors itself. Because there are a lot of private sectors, so there will be a lot of competition and they will actually produce varieties of product. Where they produce different products, a lot of products, so customers are free to choose anything that they want because there are a lot of choices that they can choose, so they can choose from anything that they want. The theories of capitalism was invented by Adam Smith back then in 18th century. But some scholars actually debated whether it is started in 17th century or 18th century. Before capitalism era, people worked as a farmer, gatherer, collector, or maybe a hunter. They hunt for animals and used to live in an agriculture kind of field. In the capitalism era, people work as the managers, owners, the factory workers, and mostly people are working in the factory industries because we are moving into the industrial revolution where factories are built for the private companies for them to sell their products. Now, the topic that we are discussing today is about capitalism and its effect towards environment. So, how does these two relate? Capitalism and environmental effect? Do you realize about the climate change that happened today? All countries all around the world are actually facing the climate change, the climate crisis, and it is becoming a growing concern among the international communities. In the capitalism industry, most countries use economic development, infrastructure building, and modernization and adopt it in their policy. Because of their capitalism. And because of this economic development, people mostly do lots of things such as deforestation for them to build a new infrastructure, new building, and then they also make some kind of pollution such as air pollution. You know, from the factories, pollution came from that. And then there are also cars. As we see, capitalism sold a lot of cars, and because selling a lot of cars also increased to a lot of smokes. And then there are also, as I said just now, it is air pollution. And then there is also water pollution because of the factory workers and also the factory owners who dump their chemical waste into the river. For example, we can see this in the case of Sungai Kim Kim. And this case is a very new case that happened in 2019. As I said just now, the capitalism give a bad effect towards the environment, such as climate crisis, wildfires, and so on. However, we need to know that the capitalism is something that we cannot avoid. In capitalism, we have that concept of the modernization, the building of infrastructure, and also those kinds of things that needs modernization and economic development. So this kind of thing is not something that we can avoid because we are now living in a very globalization country, in a globalized world. So in a globalized world, this is something that we cannot avoid. What can we do is for us to actually give a proper long-term plan for us to make sure that in any projects that we make, we have a long-term plan for the environmental effect.